Alright, we're going to have a little wild spinach lunch. And if you look right back in there, you can see wild spinach growing, lamb's quarter, goose foot, whatever you want to call it. And I've taken an onion out of my garden, and we're going to cut that up and saute it. A little bit of butter, salt and pepper, maybe some garlic salt, and mix in a bunch of the freshly picked wild spinach, a little bit of kale, and make a nice little lunch. Alright, here's our wild spinach. We're going to just rinse that off real good. Let it crisp up a bit in the bowl. And then we'll take it over to our pan with the onion sauteing. I'm cutting the bottom stalks off of this because this is middle of the summer and this stuff's going to be real tough, so it's not going to cook up the greatest. So we're going to get mainly the leaves off of the spinach for the actual meal. You don't want tough stalks in there, so we'll take that and throw it back in the compost. So I'm going to do that for most of these. Kind of just take off, and you don't have to cut these, honestly. You can pull them off the vine that way if you just grab and you can pull the leaves right off and then be left with the stalk that you want to throw away. So you don't have to be real particular with this. We're going to cook them up. It doesn't matter how pretty they are. I'm not too worried about that. We just want to make it edible. So now we're going to finish up here. I've got a few more stalks to cut off, and then we're going to let it sit and crisp just a little bit in the water. You'd be amazed how nice it makes your lettuces and salads and wild greens by just letting it sit. This green here actually was sitting out in the sun for a few minutes and kind of wilted, and by the time I get done letting it soak in water for 15 minutes or so, maybe not even that long, it's going to be nice and crisp. It'd be great for a salad, great for sandwiches. Of course, this one I'm just going to toss it in the frying pan with some onions and garlic and cook it up, but it still brings a little life back into it to let it soak a bit. So we'll start with the onions next. So now we're going to start with just a little bit of olive oil, a tablespoon or so, and heat that up, and then we'll saute the onion. Now with the onion, I typically like to cut that up with my little Cuisine Art. It's a little faster this way and fewer tears, but we'll probably just use a knife today.
Using your
Use my Father's Day gift for the cutting the onion up. This is the knife I always have with me, and typically will use to do any of my foraging if I need to cut something as I'm pulling it up. We'll get this ready and toss it in the pan. So we'll take the onions and put them in the oil. Get those sauteing. We'll put a little salt and pepper, a little bit of chili powder, and garlic salt, which I have prepared here at the side. Now you can put any seasonings you want into this, really. This isn't any kind of a special recipe. I'm just making it up as I go. Kind of inspired while in the garden, you might say. So we'll stir those up a bit, let the onions saute, a little bit of the seasonings, and then we'll mix the greens in. Now I really like chili powder. I'm a fan of the chili powder. Green chilies is another favorite of mine. I probably would throw those in if I was hankering for it, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So we got the onions sauteed pretty good, chili powder, garlic, salt and pepper mixed in. We're going to throw in some kale that was out in the garden. I had just a little bit of that. Kale's really high on the ORAC scale, high antioxidants, so that we know is really good for us. And then we'll take the greens and we're going to get all the water out, rinse them out and drain the water, and then we'll throw the greens in and saute the rest of it up. It'll be ready for the plate in just a moment. Alright, now I'm not going to worry about the water content. There's a little bit of water in the greens, but I'm not too concerned about that. You could chop them up if you want to, but I'm just going to take them, I've drained them, I've pulled them apart so they're fairly small, and we're just going to put those into the pan and cook them up till they're starting to wilt. So we don't want them overcooked, but we'll just cook them a bit, blanch them, if you will, in the saute mixture. And then you can go ahead and do a little salt and pepper when you serve it up. Alright, so again, we don't want to overcook the greens. We just get them about like that, so they're a bit wilted. You got everything mixed in real good. And then we can put it in your dish, either on a plate or in a bowl, however you'd like to eat them. And they make a great side dish, of course, or can be a nice little lunch snack. Enjoy! So then you've got a nice little meal that you can enjoy, or a little snack or a side dish. If you'd like to learn more about wild edibles, especially in Utah, Idaho, and the western deserts, specifically deserts, I will branch out into the mountains as I continue my research. Please come on over to wildutahedibles.com and enjoy the greens.